She rolled away again. Third time this week. I was lying there, arms stretched halfway across the bed, and she curled up on the other side like I was a stranger. No goodnight. No touch. Just the soft blue glow of her phone lighting up her face while I stared at the ceiling like an idiot. My name's Ryan. I'm 32. I live in Columbus, Ohio, and I work 6 days a week under the hood of busted trucks. Grease under my nails, heat in my back, but I come home and try. I've always tried. But this past week, it was like loving a damn wall. Monday, I came home late, had grease on my hands and dinner in a bag. I leaned in to kiss her neck while she was on the couch scrolling. She tilted her head, not toward me, away, like I'd startled her. She gave me a quick smile, mumbled, "Hey," and went right back to her screen. Tuesday, I tried again. We used to have this thing, coffee together in the morning. No phones, just us. I poured her cup the way she liked it, left it on the table, and leaned against the doorway. She walked right past it, already on a call. Quick note, before we start, how's your day going and where are you joining from? Wednesday night, I put on that dumb movie she used to love, the one with the talking dog. Sat beside her with a blanket. She didn't even glance at the TV. Just scrolled, replying with those dry sounds that mean nothing. Thursday, I asked her if she wanted to go out. Nothing fancy, just drinks, the bar where we used to play darts. She said she was tired, but I heard her giggling on the phone an hour later behind the closed bathroom door. And then today, Saturday, I got up early, made breakfast. She came out in her robe, saw the table, and said, "Oh, I'm not really hungry." Grabbed her coffee and took it back to the bedroom like I wasn't standing right there. That was it. I didn't raise my voice, didn't slam anything. I just stood there, stared at the coffee steam curling up from her untouched mug. I said, "You don't have to pretend anymore. I'm done trying." She looked up, confused, like she didn't expect a reaction, like I was supposed to keep swallowing this. I grabbed my keys and walked out the front door. No destination, just needed air that didn't feel like rejection. I drove around for hours. No radio, no destination, just me and the hum of the engine. Hit the freeway heading west, looped around Dayton, circled back through the back roads near Hilliard. It was hot out, windows cracked, and I could still smell the shop on my shirt. But I wasn't thinking about how to fix anything. I wasn't spinning ideas about couples therapy or weekend getaways. I kept asking myself one thing. What the hell do I actually want? Not just from her, from my life. I wanted peace, warmth, consistency. Someone who looked up when I walked in. Someone who didn't treat attention like a favor. It was dark when I pulled into the driveway. Her car was still there. Porch light on. Kitchen window lit. I stepped inside, and the smell hit me. Pot roast. Mashed potatoes. The works. She was at the stove, wearing jeans and a hoodie, humming like nothing had happened. She turned around when she heard the door. "There you are," she said, smiling like she hadn't iced me out all damn week. "Dinner's almost ready." I nodded, hung my keys by the door. She set 2 plates, even lit the candle in the middle of the table. That little vanilla-scented one we used to use on Friday nights when we stayed in. I sat down, picked up my fork. "It's your favorite," she said, sliding the gravy boat closer. I looked at her. "Yeah, I know." She waited, probably expecting a thank you or some softened look. I gave her nothing. Ate slow, quiet. Halfway through the meal, I finally spoke. "You remember the last time you touched me without pulling away?" She blinked, fork midair. "What? I'm serious. Think about it. When's the last time you kissed me first? Or even looked me in the eye for more than 2 seconds? She sighed like I'd brought up the weather. "Ryan, come on. Don't make this a thing." "It is a thing," I said, keeping my tone flat. "You shut me out all week. I leave for a few hours, and suddenly you're Julia Child? Jesus, you're being dramatic." She leaned back in her chair, arms crossed. "No," I said, pushing my plate back. "I'm just done begging." She opened her mouth like she had to come back, then closed it again. I stood up. "You know, it's crazy. I used to think the silence was just stress or work or whatever. But now I see it for what it is. You're just not in it anymore. And instead of saying that, you ration out crumbs of affection so I won't notice the cupboard's empty." "That's not fair," she muttered. "What's not fair is being treated like background noise until it's convenient to care." She stood too. "So what? You're just walking away now?" I stared at her for a long second. I already did. Then I turned and walked upstairs. Not fast, not slamming anything, just calm. heavy-footed. I didn't look back, and I knew the power had shifted. For the first time in a long time, I wasn't trying to win her back. She could keep the pot roast. I was taking back my dignity. I shut the bedroom door behind me and didn't come out until morning. No dramatic exits. No fights. Just silence. Monday, I left for work without saying a word. No goodbye kiss. No small talk about the day ahead. She was in the kitchen making coffee, wearing one of my old hoodies like that was supposed to mean something now. I walked right past her, grabbed my thermos, and left. At the shop, I focused harder than usual. Changed oil, rotated tires, replaced a busted radiator. I didn't check my phone once. When I got home, she was waiting in the living room like she'd rehearsed it. Hey, she said. How was your day? I kicked off my boots. Fine. Need help with anything? She asked. Nope. I headed upstairs. Didn't look back. Tuesday, she tried again. I was on the couch after dinner, flipping through channels. She sat beside me, way closer than usual. I could feel her watching me. Want to watch that show we started last month? She asked, scooting in. I shrugged. You can put it on. She did. But I didn't react. Didn't laugh at the jokes. Didn't make comments like I used to. Just stared, arms crossed, like I was watching a commercial I didn't care about. By Wednesday, her confusion was starting to slip into frustration. Is something wrong with you? She asked while we were brushing our teeth. I spit into the sink. Nope. She tossed the hand towel on the counter. You've barely said 2 words to me all week. Yeah, I said, meeting her eyes in the mirror. Weird, right? She didn't say anything. That night, she made spaghetti. Candles on the table. Real plates, cloth napkins. Even put on mascara, like that would rewind time. I ate, said thank you, cleaned my plate, and got up. That's it, she said, standing up too. No conversation? No, anything. I turned to face her. You want to talk now? After ignoring me for 2 weeks? I wasn't ignoring you, Ryan. God, not everything's about you. No, I said calmly. It was about your phone, your workouts, your bad mood, your silence. I just got tired of being a one-man show. She scoffed. You're acting cold. I'm reflecting. What does that even mean? It means I'm treating you the way you've treated me. No more, no less. She stared at me, mouth tight, arms crossed. Look, I said, stepping around her. You can't go radio silent for days and then throw a dinner together and expect it to undo all of it. I said I was trying. No, you're reacting. Big difference. She didn't follow me up the stairs this time. Thursday morning, she hovered in the doorway as I tied my boots. You really not going to kiss me goodbye? I looked at her like she was a stranger asking for a favor. Didn't seem like you wanted that kind of thing anymore. And I walked out. The house felt colder now, but not because I'd pulled away. It was because she'd finally noticed what it felt like to be on the outside looking in. Thursday afternoon, I was fixing the garbage disposal when I heard the front door slam and some clumsy shuffling in the entryway. Can you help? She called out of breath. These bags are heavy. I didn't move. Kept tightening the damn bracket under the sink like I didn't hear her. A minute later, she huffed through the kitchen, arms full of paper bags, purse slipping off her shoulder. Seriously? She snapped, dropping the groceries on the counter. You just let me struggle out there? I stood up, wiped my hands on a rag. You could have asked sooner. She froze. That's not the point. It is, I said, walking past her. Closed mouths don't get fed. Or helped. She didn't say anything after that. Just unpacked in silence while I grabbed a water bottle and went back to the garage. Friday night, she got home late. I was already in bed, TV on low, remote in hand. It was after 11 when she walked in, heels clicking across the hardwood like a test. She tossed her purse louder than necessary and waited in the doorway like she expected something. I didn't look up. Long day? She finally asked. Same as always. No questions about where she'd been. No accusations. Just static calm. She stood there a second longer, then turned and left the room. Saturday morning, I made eggs, bacon, and toast, for one. Set it all up at the kitchen island, coffee brewed, plate warm. She walked in mid-bite, wearing her robe. You didn't make me any? I shook my head. Didn't know you were joining. You didn't ask. I sipped my coffee. Exactly. She stared at me, hands on her hips. We're acting like roommates. I wiped my mouth with a napkin. No, roommates talk more. She blinked. What's your problem? My problem. I turned toward her. You froze me out for weeks. I left. You cooked one meal and expected everything to reset. Then I mirror your energy. Now I'm the problem? That's not fair. You're right. It's not. But it's familiar. She walked to the other side of the counter. So what? You're punishing me now. No, I said, standing. I'm just showing you what it felt like. Cold mornings, silence at dinner, brushing me off like I was some clingy obligation. I didn't mean to. You didn't try to mean anything. That's the issue. You stopped showing up, and I kept filling the gap. I'm not doing that anymore. She looked down, rubbing her temples. I didn't realize it got that bad. It did. And now you do. I picked up my plate, rinsed it in the sink, and walked out of the room without another word. I went out to grab a socket wrench from the garage and came back in to find her laptop open on the kitchen counter. She was upstairs in the shower. The screen was still on. Inbox pulled up, new email right at the top. Not opened, just previewed. You absolutely crushed legs today, flexed biceps, can't wait to see you Thursday. Brady, Fit House Personal Training. I didn't touch it. Didn't need to. That one line was enough to punch me right in the chest. And then something deeper kicked in. A different kind of clarity. The new leggings that cost twice what she used to spend. The sudden obsession with 6 a.m. sessions and back-to-back days she never used to tolerate. The way she'd come home flushed and weirdly distant, like she was halfway stuck in another conversation. It all started clicking. I shut the laptop quietly and went to finish my work in the garage. I didn't say a word that night. Not about Brady. Not about leg day. Just kept my rhythm. Cool, measured, untouchable. And she felt it. That week, she tried harder than ever to pull me back in. Wednesday, she walked into the shop with a sandwich and a drink. Hadn't done that since last summer. Thought you could use lunch, she said, smiling like we were on a first date. Thanks, I said, taking it without breaking eye contact. I didn't kiss her, didn't compliment her. Just nodded and went back to work. She hung around the bay door for a few minutes like she wanted more. I didn't offer it. Thursday night, she made chili and waited for me to sit before starting. Candle lit again. That same vanilla one from last week. How was work? She asked, voice soft. Same as always. She stirred her bowl. You seemed quiet yesterday. Just focused. She tilted her head like she was analyzing me. Are we good? I met her eyes. Are we? She blinked. What does that mean? It means I'm just following your lead. You were the one who went distant first. She opened her mouth to speak, but nothing came out. Friday morning, I watched her get dressed for the gym. New black leggings. Matching top. Hair done. You seeing Brady today? I asked, casual as hell, sipping my coffee. She paused for a split second, just long enough. He's just my trainer, she said quickly. Why? I shrugged. No reason. Just curious who gets you smiling at 6 in the morning. She laughed too loud. God, don't be weird. I didn't laugh back. Just kept sipping. By Saturday, the cracks were showing. She lingered in the hallway, hovered near the couch, tried looping me into her weekend plans. We could go to that farmer's market, remember? She said. The one with the cider stand. Not feeling it. Okay, well, maybe a movie later? I've got stuff to do. She stood there in silence, arms crossed, eyes scanning my face like she was looking for some flicker of emotion. Nothing. And that's when I knew. She wasn't just trying to fix things. She was trying to figure out what I knew. Every word, every gesture, every sudden act of kindness. It wasn't about us. It was about control slipping through her fingers. And I wasn't giving her a damn inch of it back. Sunday morning, she walked into the kitchen in full gym gear, new purple leggings, hair done, perfume she used to save for date nights. I didn't even look up from my eggs. You really do love this new hobby. She paused, holding her water bottle like she forgot what it was for. What do you mean? Early mornings. 4, 5 days a week. Seems like you found a routine that finally motivates you. She laughed, nervous, too fast. It's just been good to get moving again. Sure, I said, taking a bite. Bet it helps when you've got good company. She blinked. There's a group of us. A few girls I've met. Names? I asked, not even looking up. She hesitated. Jamie? And Lena, I think. Sounds real close. She didn't respond. Just walked over to the fridge like she was searching for something to do with her hands. Later that night, she sat next to me on the couch, way too close for the vibe we'd been living in. I've been thinking, she said, touching my arm. We could do something next weekend. Like a trip. Just us. Who'd run your workouts? I asked, eyes still on the TV. She pulled her hand back. Can we not do that? Do what? Act like I'm hiding something. I turned the volume up 2 clicks. If the shoe fits. She stood and left the room without another word. Monday morning, I walked past her on the way to the door. She was in the hallway, pretending to check her calendar app. I grabbed my keys and said it without looking at her. Tell your trainer I said good luck Thursday. I shut the door before she could answer. When I got home that night, the tension was thick. She'd made dinner again, steak this time, and set the table like she was auditioning for forgiveness. I ate quietly, thanked her, washed my plate. She hovered, eyes following me. You okay? She asked, voice tight. Better than ever, I said, walking past her. That night, I got out of the shower, and she was already in bed, wearing something sheer she hadn't bothered with in over a year. She looked up from her pillow. I miss you. I dried off slowly, letting the silence drag. You never used to turn me down, she said, voice softer now. I looked her dead in the eye. You never used to act like I didn't exist. She sat up, pulling the blanket around herself. Can't we just start over? I turned off the bathroom light. No. She blinked. No? I'm not interested in pity intimacy. Not when I've spent months begging for scraps. You think that's what this is? I know what this is. I grabbed my shirt and walked out of the room. Too little. Way too late. She didn't follow me. Didn't say a word. For the first time, she looked like she didn't know what to do. Good. Monday morning, I was pulling on my boots when she blocked the doorway. Arms crossed, mouth set. That fake calm look she wore when she wanted control. We need to talk, she said. I stood up, grabbed my hoodie, didn't flinch. About what? The trainer you don't mention or the ghost version of you I've lived with for 2 months? She exhaled hard. You're twisting everything. No, I said, slinging the hoodie over my shoulder. I'm repeating it. You're the one who said I was dramatic. You're the one who shut down every time I asked for basic affection. Don't spin it like I imagined this. Her jaw clenched. It's not what you think. Brady's just a trainer. Great, I said. Then call him right now. Put it on speaker. She blinked. What? I pulled out my phone and held it toward her. Let's clear it up. Call him. Ask him if he thinks you're just a client. Her face dropped. Hands twitched. I'm not doing this with you. Exactly, I said, stepping past her. Because the second this leaves your phone and hits the real world, it falls apart. She didn't try to stop me. That night, I came home to music playing, lights dimmed, table set like some anniversary scene. She stood at the counter in a red dress she hadn't worn since her sister's wedding. Makeup done, wine already poured. Thought we could hit reset, she said, giving me a smile she hadn't used in months. I set my keys down slow. This supposed to erase everything? It's not like that. She walked over, touched my chest. I want to feel like us again. I looked around. The steak, the candle, the playlist we used to play on road trips. All of this, I said, is a performance. You're dressing up a crime scene and calling it a picnic. That's not fair. No. What's not fair is the months of silence, the lies, the way you acted like I was the burden in this house. But now that you feel it slipping, now it's wine and seduction and forced nostalgia? I'm trying, Ryan. Her voice cracked, but I didn't bite. You're reacting. That's different. You didn't miss me. You missed the comfort. The version of me that used to beg for your attention. She looked away. You really believe I was doing something behind your back? I laughed once, short, dry. I believe people don't panic this hard over nothing. I believe if Brady wasn't a factor, you'd have no problem dialing his number in front of me. She didn't speak. You think cooking my favorite meal and putting on mascara wipes away months of disrespect? I shook my head. You're trying to sell sincerity now, but you were giving me coupons before. I'm not buying it. She reached for my hand. Can't we just start over? I already did, I said, stepping back. Without you. Tuesday morning, she sent a picture of herself at the gym. Tight leggings, mirror selfie, little winking emoji in the corner. I left it on read. By lunch, she followed up with, we should do something. Just us. Get away this weekend? I stared at the screen for a few seconds, locked it, slid the phone back in my pocket. Didn't answer. Wednesday, she upped the volume. Left notes in my truck. I love you. I miss us. Please talk to me. That night, she was waiting when I got home. Sitting on the couch like she'd been rehearsing all day. I'm still in love with you, she said the second I stepped in. I hung my keys by the door. Okay. She stood up. That's it. You don't get to disappear emotionally for months and then expect fireworks when you say what I begged to hear back then. Her jaw tightened. I'm trying. No, I said. You're spiraling. There's a difference. She folded her arms. What do you want me to say? The truth. That knocked the breath out of her. She sank into the couch, eyes red now. I didn't mean for any of it to go that far. I stayed standing. Define far. She didn't answer, just twisted her hands together. Say it. I may have gotten close to someone else, she mumbled. Who? She shook her head. It's not like that. Then what's it like? It wasn't physical. I laughed. Not loud, not bitter, just disbelief. But it was emotional. You gave him what you stopped giving me. I was lonely, she whispered. No, I said calmly. You were selfish. You had me here, every day, showing up. You just didn't want me. You wanted attention without the work. She stood, face pale. You don't understand how isolated I felt. And I don't care anymore, I said. You want to be lonely? Be lonely somewhere else. Ryan, no, please. She rushed toward me, grabbing my arm. Don't do this. We can fix it. I swear. I pulled away. I'm not doing anything. I'm responding to what you already did. Where am I supposed to go? She asked, voice rising. Not my problem. I didn't sleep with anyone, she screamed. And I didn't cheat, lie, or vanish inside my own home. But here we are. She dropped into the chair like her legs gave out. You're serious? I nodded once. Pack a bag. She didn't move. So I walked upstairs. Calm. Steady. Done. By morning, she still hadn't left. I came downstairs expecting silence, maybe a note on the counter. Instead, she was standing in the kitchen, still in yesterday's clothes, eyes red, like she hadn't slept. I didn't know where to go, she said. I poured my coffee. You had all night to figure it out. I don't want to go. We can work through this. I'll do therapy. Couples, individual, whatever it takes. I leaned against the counter. Now you want to talk about effort? She stepped toward me, palms out. Please, Ryan. Don't throw us away. I didn't throw anything, I said. You slowly took a sledgehammer to it. We've had rough patches before. This wasn't a rough patch, I said flatly. This was a slow-motion abandonment with Wi-Fi. Her voice cracked. You're just giving up? No, I said. I'm accepting what's already been true. She shook her head hard. We can fix this. You don't mean it. You're just angry. I'm not angry. I took a sip of coffee. That's what's scaring you. She fell silent, eyes searching mine, desperate to find the old version of me still buried somewhere. But he was gone. Monday morning, I made one phone call during my break at the shop. Found a local lawyer through a friend, set up the paperwork, got everything moving. By Thursday, the envelope showed up. When she saw it on the kitchen table, her hand actually shook picking it up. She flipped it open, eyes darting across the words like she was reading the end of a book she never thought would finish. You're divorcing me? She asked, voice barely audible. Yes. She sat down like the chair had pulled her in. You really filed. I gave more warnings than stop signs on a freeway. You blew through every one. Tears welled up fast. I said I was sorry. I said nothing ever happened physically. I cut her off. Don't care. Emotionally, you clocked out. You gave someone else the energy I spent months begging for. It didn't mean anything, she whispered. It meant everything, I said. Because it's the part you chose to give away. Not your body, your attention, your laughter, your time. All the stuff I kept holding out for while you fed it to someone else like scraps off our table. She put her face in her hands, sobbing now. You want to know the worst part? I asked. I probably would have forgiven you if you came clean when I first asked. If you owned it back, then instead of insulting me with half-truths and pity dinners. She looked up, eyes swollen. What do you want me to say? Nothing, I said. You already killed the relationship. I'm just signing the death certificate. She covered her mouth with both hands, like she could stop the damage from escaping if she just pressed hard enough. I stood there for a second, watching the full weight of it finally hit her. Then I walked out the door and went back to work. And for once, I didn't feel like the bad guy. I felt like a man who finally stopped bleeding for someone who never brought a bandage. 3 months later, I was signing papers at a beige desk in a downtown office with a view of the Kroger parking lot. The lawyer slid the last form toward me. You're officially divorced once this hits the county clerk. I signed it without blinking. She'd tried everything in the meantime. Texts every few days, thinking of you. Calls I didn't answer. Knocks on the door I let echo until they stopped. She left flowers once. Sat them on the hood of my truck like a gilt trophy. I threw them out with the empty oil jugs. I'd moved into a small place across town. Nothing fancy, 1 bedroom, clean kitchen, no ghosts. Most nights I cooked real food. Steak, stir-fry, scrambled eggs at midnight if I felt like it. TV was mine again. No reality shows or silent scrolling. I'd fall asleep fast, sleep through the night, wake up rested. No tiptoeing. No cold shoulder under the covers. It was quiet, but it was mine. Then Thursday night, a final message buzzed in around 9. I realized what I lost. No paragraphs. No questions. Just that. I stared at it for maybe 5 seconds. Deleted. No reply. No emotion. Just a tiny vibration in my hand, gone as fast as it came. She realized it too late. That's not my burden to carry anymore. Because I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't hurt. I wasn't hoping for closure or waiting for some grand apology. I just didn't care. And for the first time in years, I wasn't chasing someone walking away. I was finally standing still, and it felt solid.